that was put in 1940, and it was taken out in 1980, and JT's dad saved it.
Saved.
So that's what that is. That's from the old high school basketball floor. I mean, it's got, yeah.
That's great.
So there, you know, it's. So it's coming along. I hope they, you know, I told Russ coming up here, I said, I hope they get into it, you know.
Hope they're into it
next year. By next, yeah, so.
So, where were you born?
I was born at home.
Where?
In Hickman.
Hickman what?
On a farm.
Hickman,
Nebraska.
Nebraska. What year? What was your date of birth?
Neighbor?
Date of birth? When were you born?
Oh, July 2nd, 1925.
No, that's my birthday.
I'm June 2nd. June 2nd, 1925.
In Hickman?
Every time the clinic or anything asks your birthday, 6/2/1925.
Yeah. In Hickman, Nebraska?
Hickman, Nebraska, on a farm.
At home.
And the only thing I know about it...
There's a deer out there.
Oh, yeah. And as later I had asked my mom, what was the weather like when I was born? She said it was hot and dusty.
See, there's
and I had to have the windows open. Yeah. And by that night, I'd moved my head and the dust was all over my pillow.
Wow.
It was that dusty. Well, it was so hot they had to have the windows open too. So.
Who were your parents?
Jake and Hannah Leisfeld.
And how many brothers?
Leisveld, not T.
Okay.
Must have a D on the
And
end.
number of brothers and sisters?
When I was born, there were 6.
And how many total?
I felt like years later that after I was born, I was given to Blanche to help take care of me because she was 8 years old at that time. And Mom was always so busy getting food and whatever she had to do all day long. So evidently, Blanche raised me. And so I had always been closer to Blanche than to Ellen or even Joe. And so I remember the very first day at school because Blanche kept telling me how much I was going to love it, and always kept telling me all about school. I remember walking to school carrying my lunch bag in a syrup pail and walking to school. It was like a mile, half a mile this way and half a mile that way. And I can remember that first day. And I was in kindergarten first, not first grade, kindergarten. And so I sat by myself most of the time. And I remember the penmanship circles that you had to learn how to do, and you're up and down so you could have straight letters and good oval letters when you write.
So did you have to walk to school?
I walked to school then. I think later we were brought in a wagon, a horse and wagon, in the wintertime.
How far was the walk?
Just a mile. Half a mile one way and half a mile the other way.
And then in the winter you were on a wagon with the horses?
We were, horse and wagon. Or I think we might have had an old Model T at that time. I don't remember much about the car.
Were all the kids, all the ages in one classroom?
Yes. All 8 grades, kindergarten to 8.
And you had one teacher?
One teacher. So a lot of the time you sat there and you had to work on whatever they gave you to work on. And the rest of the time you entertained yourself. There weren't too many books for kindergarten.
And you're born in 1925, so this must have been about 1930?
30s.
30s.
I was 5 years old.
How many years did you go to that school?
Well, till the 2nd grade. In the 2nd grade, we moved to Princeton.
How far was that?
It was probably about 15 miles. Hickman and then Princeton.
So your parents moved, the whole family moved?
Moved the whole farm, yes, the whole family. We never owned a farm, we rented. And I didn't realize that until I got older. But, so it was tough to be on a farm, and you know that you couldn't keep all that you raised. You had to give part of it to the owner. But everybody that we knew was in the same position. Most of our relatives did the same thing. And people worked together on big things like combining the wheat and thrashing and doing the corn.
All the families would pitch in?
All the families would pitch. All the women would come to help fix the food. The men would all come and help put the grains in. And so it was always a big day whenever there was time when people would come.
So what did you all, as kids, what did you do for fun?
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 There never was too much fun.
Not much, a lot of work, not much fun?
Yeah, because I had a job even as a young one, maybe 8 years old. I had to carry water. I would carry water out to the farmers when they were out in the yard, out in the field. I would bring them lunch, because they had breakfast, lunch, dinner, lunch, supper, lunch. So my mom was cooking all the time. I mean, they worked hard.
And you were just a young kid at that time? You were just a young girl, bringing the food out?
Yeah, just, Jody would drag along behind me. I usually.
Jody?
Joe.
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 Your younger sister?
Joanne, we
Okay.
called her.
All right.
But she was always with me.
Okay.